Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great and keeping healthy. Welcome to the end of term video explanations where we'll discuss all the exam topics one by one. This is for the term 3, year 2022-2023. Now, before we begin, I quickly want to thank all those who have subscribed to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. If you're finding this channel useful and if you have not yet subscribed to it, please do hit the subscribe button and do share it among your friends who can benefit from it. I am Justin Darrell D'Souza and we will quickly go through the exam scheme and then we will start with the explanation videos. As you might already have seen this exam scheme, there are three parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. With part 1, 10 questions are there, each carry 3 marks. So these are the part 1 questions, whereas the part 2 carries 5 marks each and there are 10 questions again. So this is all 5 marks each. They are supposed to be a bit more complicated than the part 1. And lastly, we have part 3, that is the writing part, where there are 3 questions which will be asked for 6 or 7 marks, and there are 2 bonus questions which is 5 marks each. These can be any learning objective throughout whatever you have learned in term 3. If you want entire lesson details, you can click on the playlist and click on the appropriate. You can click on the playlist and you can see all the uh, lesson videos have been explained as well. You can go through that. Now, in this playlist, I will be sticking to all the 23 topics which are mentioned for your exam scheme. Please stay tuned. I will upload each video as soon as possible whenever I can do them. And I'll be doing all the 23 videos, but in time. So please do subscribe and stay tuned. And we will start in the next video from the first topic. Welcome to the first topic of the exam scheme. Here they have asked us to find the multiple representation of a polar coordinate. They have asked us to find the 3 additional pairs of polar coordinates that name the given point if negative 360 theta to positive 360 or negative 2 pi to positive 2 pi at this particular point, 5, 240 degrees. It may seem complicated, but it's very easy. First things first, what does this mean? 360 to negative 360. That means now if this is a polar grid, the circle, the degree starts from year to year 90, 180, 270 and 360. In this, imagine we have one point. Let's take a simple point over here. Okay. Now, this can be represented like this. Imagine this is 45 degrees and the radius, say it is 3. It can be written as 3, 45 degrees. But the same point can be represented in different names. Only in polar coordinates, the same thing can be given in different name. Now, how can we mention it? We can mention instead of the the anti-clockwise, we can take clockwise and write negative angle. We can tell from year to year it will be 360 minus 45, that will be 315. So what you do is 3 comma negative 315. It's the same thing because if you have negative angles, we have to take in the opposite direction, that's clockwise, and we are coming to the same point, 3 radius. Or we can extend this line. Now we can tell from year to year how much is the angle. So we know this much is 90 and this is 45, 45, so it's 180. So if we take minus 180 degrees, but the radius will be minus 3. That means we're coming to this point and going backwards, because if it's minus radius, then we go opposite direction. So again, we reach the same point. Or if we take positive direction from year to year, it would be 180 plus 45, that is 225. Again, we would reach the same point, negative 3, positive 225 degrees. So there are 4 ways to represent a single coordinate. This is when we consider from 0 to 360. But now sometimes they might just only consider 0 to 180. Then there will be 2 representations from year to year and from other way around, only 2 representations. So now we will see the angle, it depends on the angle. It must be restricted to within 180. within positive this would be one answer and this would be the answer. Now let's look into the problems. You'll understand much better. Here we have to graph. It's better to graph. Now 240 degrees is somewhere over here, and 5 means it's in the fifth line. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 radius, and we have 240 degree from here to here. So if I draw from here to here, if I draw a straight line, it would be 240 degrees. Extend this backward just in case, we will use that later. So that is obviously the first point. We know 5 comma 240. What is the negative angle from here? We can just subtract 360 from it and find it. So it will be negative 120. Or you do not need to follow any of this. You can just see this. From here it was 240. How much is this other side? It will be 360 minus 240. That will be negative 120 would land up to the same point. And 5. So that would be one answer. Now extend this line. How do we get over here? It's 180 degrees. So now from here, negative 120, sorry, positive 240. If you subtract 180, you will get this angle. And then from here, if you give minus 5 radius, you will come to the same point. So what you're doing is, here from here it is 60. Why? Because 240 minus 180 is 60. So if you do 60 degrees, you're going to get this line, but take minus 5, so you'll go in the opposite direction. And now if this is 60, how to get the negative angle of this? All you need to do is minus 300. So you will get the answer minus 300. Why? Because we know this is 60. So how do we get over here from this? It will be minus 300 degrees. You will reach the same point, minus 5. So this is how we can represent it in different ways. Over here we have one more problem where this is the point. The point is at 4,135 degrees. Same way. Now pause the video and try it by yourself. I hope you have tried it. It's very simple. All you need to know is this is the positive angle 135. This subtracted from 360 gives you the other angle, that is negative 225. Now swap it over here. So what you need to do is just add or subtract 180 degree. You will get this point, that is 315, or from here it will be negative 45. That's it. It's very straightforward. You will get the answers. Similarly, please do try these problems. It's very, very simple. Now over here you can see 150 is the first angle. So how do we get the negative? 360 minus 150 is negative 210. Now over here you can subtract and add 180 and you can find the others. So if you just draw it over here, it will be much convenient. So 150 is somewhere over here. So this would be the line. So from here to here it's negative 30 and then minus. And if it was like this, it's 330 and minus. Whereas if you just subtract this from 360, you should take the positive. Please solve it by yourself and then compare. Don't be scared if there is pi. You can convert this to radian. All you need to do is substitute pi equals 180 and then solve. Now imagine you want to get it in terms of degree. 7 pi by 6. All you need to do is negative 7 pi will be 180 divided by 6. This is the answer in degrees. That's negative 210. You will get in degrees and then you can convert this to radians. All you need to do is divide this by pi, divide this by 180, sorry. And that will be the answer, negative 7 by 6. But do remember to write pi after that. That's it. So these are the answers. Please do it by yourself and then check it. Now over here, it's the same thing, but they have told to restrict it from 0 to 180. That means it will be from here to here. So only this angle point. So you can see the angles are one of this and then this itself. So please do try it by yourself. Just restrict the angles within this range. You must make sure whatever the angles you get will be constrained in this. Now this is coterminal angle. Just keep on subtracting 360 until you get an angle within this range. So this is how we can do it. Please do it by yourself and then check it out. It's very simple and straightforward. If you're not understood, just pause and go back to the video explanation at the beginning. You will understand it thoroughly. So this is how you solve the first topic. Moving on to the second topic, it is to graph simple polar equations. But in the exam scheme, you will be given graph and you need to select the correct equation. If you know one way, then the other way is very easy. So let's look into this problem now. Graph the polar equation theta equals 5 pi by 6. You do not need to do all the table and stuff. All you need to know is what is this particular angle. How do you find it? We saw it in the last video. Wherever there is pi, just write, sorry, I'll just do this. Wherever there is pi, just put 180 and now divided by 6. This is the degrees, 150 degrees. To get this back to radians, all you need to do is divide this by 180 and write pi in front of this. So 5 by 6 pi. All you need to know is over here r is not given. So r can be any real number. It can be positive or negative. So what do we do is sketch the graph. You need to draw a 150-degree line and then see it's just basically a 150-degree line, which is 5 pi by 6, and then draw a straight line. Sorry, that is a very bad line to draw over something. This is the line. It's either positive or negative. That's it. So this is how we solve it. Now even over here, you can easily check it out, which is the correct one, or you can see the graph and check which is the correct option. So what you can do is, let's look carefully. How much is 7 pi by 4? If you're getting confused, just change it to degree. 7 by 4 pi, that is 180, is equal to 315 degrees. So where does 315 degree lie? 315 is somewhere over here like this. Okay, so now since r is not given, it can be any real number. So this is wrong, and this is also wrong. This is supposed to be right, but it's not all real numbers, right? So the first option is the correct one. This is it. Now you need to find the equation for these graphs. Again, it's another simple one. All you need to know is how much is this degree. Now, you know this much is pi by 6 is 30 degrees. We start with 30, 60, 90 and so on. So this is basic. Half of 30 is 15 degrees. So 15 degrees. That's the answer. Over here now it's given as pi by 12. It's fine. 15 divided by 180 is how much? It will be 1 by 12 times pi. That is pi by 12. That's it. Now over here you can see the radius is mentioned, but there's no angle. Look, what is the radius? It can either be 2.5 or negative 2.5. So radius is both of them, 2.5 or negative 2.5. Even over here, you can either take it as 15 degrees or 360 minus 15. That would be 345. Similarly, over here, radius is 4 or minus 4. And over here, you have the answer. It's 135 or 360 minus 135. It's up to you. So this is the thing. Or you can even check this answer. See over here, it'll be just this much or the other coterminal angles. So this is it. And also please watch the videos in continuity because we saw a similar video in the first topic. So this is just the continuation of that. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned for the next videos and we will learn more about polar equations and graphing them. The third topic is to graph polar equations. And in the third topic of your exam scheme, they have specifically asked you problems. These are the problems where they have asked you to plot the points. So now how do we do it is, our sine theta is given. So what you need to do is make a table of values with theta and the radius r, that is the sine theta. So you need to assume these theta values. Generally, we assume 0 to 360. That is same over here. 0 to 2 pi, that is 360 degrees. Pi means 180. And we give a spacing of generally 30 degrees. So 0, 30, 60, 90. You can see pi by 6 is 30. Pi by 3 is 60. Then we have 90, that is pi by 2, and so on. It keeps on added by 30. And then when you put this in the calculator, you'll get the answer. I'll just show you how. All you're doing is It depends on which you use. I'll be using the degree for now. I won't change the mode because degree is easy to type rather than radians. So I will just use sine. 0 is always 0, sine 0 is 0. Now let me put it as 30. That is 0.5, that is half. Let me change it to 60. Root 3 by 2 or 0.866, that's 0.9. Here we can change it to 90, it's 1, and so on. Don't you think it takes so much long time to get this table? It is really taxing and boring. So there's a shortcut method. You can do it in your calculator. All you need to do is press mode, and you can see there's a table. This is the table of values, right? Let's click on that table. Okay, what is the function you need to find the table of values for? It's sine theta, right? So put sine, there is no theta option, but there's x. So f of x is sine x. Then press equal to. We are dealing only with one equation, so ignore this. F of x is submitted, it's fine. G of x is nothing, press equal to again. Where do you want to start? We always start from 0 and end at 360 degrees. And what is the interval? We want to give 30 or 40 or 60, whatever. Let's start with 30 over here. At 30 degrees, I want the intervals. That's it. Now look at the values. 0 is 0, 30 is 0.5, 60 is 0.866, that's 0.9, and all these values are matching. They get you all the values. You can check this out. All the values will match. So this is much easy and much simpler method. If you had put g of x, then you'll get one more equation, but only one is enough now. And now once you have the x and y values, you can graph. How do you graph? You need to start now over here. 0 is 0, so that means over here you start with 0 and 0. Now at 30 degrees, this is pi by 6. What is the value? At 0.5. So this is the 0.5 over here at 30 degrees. Now what about 60 degrees? That's 0.9, so it's somewhere over here. It's 0.866. And then pi by 2 is 90, it's 1. Same way we can do the others. Now 2 by 3 is 0.9. This is simple. And 0, 0 again. Pi is 0. Where pi? We have 0. Now, what about these negative values? 7 pi by 6 is over here, but it says negative 0.5. That means you have to go in the opposite direction and you reach at the same point back over here. Same thing with 3 pi by 2. It's over here, but negative 1 is opposite side and you come over here. So this is the thing, you'll come back to the same point. And this is the graph because it's symmetrical over here. Now, you can try this graphing by yourself and pause the video, graph it by yourself, and then check the answer. So now we will check this answer. Over here, we need to make the table of values. Let's use our calculator. Now mode, you can, if you press on, it'll go back to the same mode, that is mode table, mode and 7. And now let's type 3 cos x because theta is unknown. And now you press equal to, don't type anything over here. Let's start with 0 and end at 360. And then let's give this step of 30. And these are the values. Let's double check it. Over here you can see they are the exact same values. 0, 30 is 2.6, 1.5. Again it'll be 0 and so on. All the values are over here. Now with these values, you know how to graph them. You can easily graph it. 0, it starts at 3 over here. And then you have pi by 6 at 2.6. So you can see pi by 6 is over here, in between 2 and 3. Whereas pi by 3 is 1.5 over here. That's in between 1 and 2. And then pi by 2 is 0 and it goes on. So this is how we can easily graph. Please do go through these problems by yourself. Try them and solve it. Solve it and then double check the answers. I will quickly show you how to plot this cos. Now, we don't have cos option, isn't it? Sorry, cosecant. Cos is there, sine is there, tan is there. What about this cosecant? It's simple. It's just that you must remember cosecant is 1 by sine. So all I need to do is write 1 divided by sine x. Close the bracket. And where does it start? It starts from 0, it ends at 360. It's the same thing. And let's have a step of 30. And here you will get, see now, this one is you're getting an error. Why? Because there is no value. It's undefined at 0. Now you can see at 30 degrees. Where is 30 degrees? Over here, pi by 6. What's the value? It's 2. If you look closely at 30 degrees, this is the point. You can see this is the point. And then at 60, this is the thing. It is about 1.15. Yes, it is correct. It's 1.15. And then you can see other values at 90 it is 1 and so on. So there are error values at some points. That means it is undefined over there, and then other values you can plot them. Minus 2, now for example over here 330 is over here. Minus 2 means you have to go in the opposite direction. So that's the thing. Remember, the minus signs means you're going in the opposite direction, whereas the plus signs is in the normal direction. This is it. Now, one more thing, you will have 4 options of the graph. So just do the table and then check which is the correct graph. That's it. You can easily check if it's a cos graph, it'll be circles. Whereas if you have a secant graph, it's going to be line. A vertical line, cosecant is a horizontal line. And looking at the graphs, you can easily plot it. You can see over here, these are the different type of graphs. So negative means it's down, positive would be up. Similarly, there are few tactics, but this is the exact method. So do the table method by going to more 7 and then plotting the tables, and then you can easily find which is the correct graph. The fourth topic is to convert polar and rectangular coordinates. Now, conversion of polar to rectangular is very simple. To find x, so polar is basically r and theta, rectangular is x and y. To find x, you need to substitute r cos theta. They will give you r and theta, that means it's polar, right? So polar will be given, that is r and theta, that is radius and angle. All you need to do is substitute the radius cos theta to get x, whereas r sine theta would be y. So these are the basic formula. Now let's see how to convert. You have been given a polar coordinate 4, pi by 6. You need to convert this to radians. You need to convert to rectangular form. R is given, theta is given. It's up to you to convert or not convert. If you're not converting this to degree, you need to change to radian mode. I will tell you how. The answer will be the same. Now, if you want to use pi by 6 itself, you need to press shift, mode, and then radians. Now, we know the formula is r into cos theta, that is pi by 6 divided by 6. So this is the answer. 2 root 3. You can see over here 2 root 3. If I change this to sine, it's going to be just 2. That is y value. But if you are not willing to change to radian mode, it's the default mode in degree. The default is in degree. Now all you need to do is wherever you get the angle pi by 6, so pi, instead of pi, put 180 divided by 6. What is the angle? That is 30 degrees. Now you are use 30, that is cos 30, that is 2 root 3, and change it to sine 30. Sorry, this is sine 30 and it is 2. So this is how you can easily convert from polar to rectangular coordinates. This is not required, but this is just the graphing. The answer is 2 root 3, 2. Same way you can try this by yourself. Do it by yourself, pause the video and check the answer in a while. Now don't worry if it's negative or anything, it's fine. Now you can do, it's 60 degrees, but still, how do you do? Minus pi is 180 divided by 3. That's 60, negative 60. So r is 4 into cos negative 60. Close the bracket. That's 2. And whereas if you want sine, all you need to do is change this to sine and you will get the answer minus 2 root 3. This is how we get it. And try all these problems by yourself and then check the answers. Very simple, very straightforward. And please do check them. But first you need to try it by yourselves. So that's it. The fifth topic is to recognize whether the sequence is arithmetic or not. Now, before we start problems, let's see the arithmetic sequence. You can read this through, but what it means is basically, if you have, say, a sequence, it must have a constant difference. Over here, you can see 4 is being added, and this 4 must be added throughout. It shouldn't be only for 3 terms and then it's changed. It can't be 12 over here. Since 4 is being added, 4 must be added all the time. 6 plus 4 is 10. And now that 4 which is being added regularly, repeated interval, that is called the common difference. It is found by the second term minus the first term, and this sequences are called arithmetic sequence. Let's see a problem. We have to determine whether this is arithmetic sequence or not. All you need to do is look into this problem. This term, sorry, second term, subtract it from the first term. Don't do it only for one term, do it for the other two as well, because they're asking you to check if they are arithmetic or not. You never know. So let's do is minus 17 minus of minus 6. And lastly, minus 28 minus of minus 17. Now all you need to do is solve them. Minus 6 minus 5 is negative 11. Over here it is plus 6, so negative 17 plus 6 is negative 11. Over here, positive 17, 17 to 27 plus it is again negative 11. So all the 3 terms are negative 11. That means over here you're adding negative 11, negative 11 and minus 11. So common difference is minus 11 and the sequence is arithmetic. That's it. Now look at this problem. How about you pause the video now and try it by yourself, just like what we have done before. I hope you at least tried by pausing the video. Now we will look into it. So all you need to do is see the common difference. Over here it is 16. How do you find that? 12 minus of minus 4 will become positive. So it's 12 plus 4, 16. 28 minus 12. Again it is 16. Yes. But what about 42 minus 28? You can see this 4 and 10. So it's 14. So this is not a arithmetic sequence because there is no common difference, and hence the answer is no. Similarly, please try them by yourselves and check the answers. Over here, the answers are as follows: yes, yes, no, and no. Over here, you can see there is no common difference. It's 0.3, 0.3, then it is 0.6. No, it's not an arithmetic sequence. Similarly, you can check the remaining. And over here also, please do check it by yourself. Pause the video, do it by yourself, and then confirm. Find the common difference for all, and then confirm the answers. The sixth topic is to relate geometric sequences to exponential functions. It might sound fancy, but what they want is basically to find few terms of the geometric sequence and graph it. And when you graph, you realize the graph is exponential function graph. Now we will see this. You have been told the sequence is a geometric sequence. So don't go to find the common ratio for all the terms. It's similar to arithmetic sequence, only the thing is over here a common ratio is being multiplied. Now, don't go to find 8 divided by 32 and 2 divided by 8. No, because they've already told it's a geometric sequence. Now, just look for simple numbers. Over here, 2 and 8 are simple. So, I'll do 2 divided by 8. That is 1/4 or quarter or 0.25. So, this is the ratio. That is our step 1 to find the common ratio. And once we have found that, you can easily multiply this to the last term to get the next 3 terms. So 2 multiplied by a quarter is half. Over here, what happens? Basically, multiply quarter means you divide by 4. So 1, 2 times. And then the same thing over here, you need to keep on multiplying the denominator by 4. It's multiply quarter. You can use a calculator. So it's 1 by 8 and then 8 fours are 32, so 1 by 32. So these are the next 3 terms. It's not over, you need to graph them. When you graph them, the domain is always 1, 2, 3. It starts from 1 and it goes on until how many terms you're graphing. So here you have this domain. Because we have 6 terms to graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Domain is always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over here, the range is these values. Now, when you graph them, look over here. This was a huge value, 32 at 1, but then it drops down because you're multiplying by a quarter, 8, and then it's down, down, and this gives you an exponential function graph. So that's it. So this is how we solve it. Very basic, very simple. All you need to do is find the next terms and then graph them up. That's it. Remember, the domain is always starting from 1, 2, 3. They have asked you a few terms. How many total terms are there? 6 terms. So domain will be 1 to 6. The first point, whatever the values are there, will be the y-axis. The domain is the x-axis for each number of terms. It's basically, this is A1, isn't it? This is A2, A3. So 1, 2, that is the domain. Now we will look into the problems which are mentioned in the exam scheme 14 to 17. Do this by yourself. They are all geometric sequence. So just find the next three terms. By finding the common ratio, you can easily find the next three terms. And then what you need to do is graph them up. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms. Similarly, find all the other terms. I'm sorry, there's a comma missing over here. 256, 512. You can do it by yourself and then graph it and then check the answer. So please do by yourself, then only refer the answers to check for checking your values. When you only solve more and more problems, you'll be thorough. Otherwise, you might be stuck during the final exam. In this topic, we are supposed to find the nth term for the arithmetic sequences. The nth term means kind of an explicit formula. It's given by an equals a1 plus n minus 1d. This is not explicit. I mean, when you solve for the nth term, that will be an explicit formula. It's not recursive. Now, anyways, just remember this nth term, an formula. It's the first term plus n minus 1, depends on the n value, and times the common difference. We will see a problem, how easy it is. Write an equation for the nth term for each arithmetic sequences. Over here, this is given over here as phi, negative 13, negative 31. You do not need to find the common difference for everything. They have told this is an arithmetic sequence. Just find for the first value, negative 13 minus phi, it will be negative 18. That's it. So this must be added everywhere. Now you can see the d is negative 18. What is the first term? Phi. Why do we need this? Because we have to put it in the formula. The first term, phi, and the d value, that is negative 18. Sorry for my voice. Now, over here, all you need to do is substitute and simplify. That is phi, and over here you keep on multiplying. And this is distributive property. You multiply this negative 18 to n, and you multiply the minus 18 to minus 1. It'll be positive 18. And then simplify as much as possible. You can see phi and 18 can be simplified. It'll become 23. So this an is the simplified formula, and that is the nth term. So if you know n, say I want to find n for 15, all you need to do is a15 equals, here instead of n you put 15 and multiply 18 times 15 plus 23. That's it. So similarly, we have one more problem. Here we don't have a sequence. They have given a, phi and d. But the problem here arises because we do not know a1. What is the first term? There are many ways to solve. Now this is the first thing. To find a1, put the formula, use the formula. Whatever you know, substitute. You know an or a phi is, over here you can put it as a phi is 19. First term is unknown. N is 5 and d is 6. So all you're doing is substitute them. 18 equals a1 is the first term plus n is 5 because over here it's mentioned, and minus 1 d is 6. Now if you're thinking why is this an, so now whenever they mention say a7 equals 10, that means the seventh term is equal to 10. You do not know the nth term, you can state this as the nth term. We can consider an as 7 and then substitute the value 10 over here. Okay, so what will be the n value? N value will be 7, and this will be 10 in this example. So that's what we have done. And now why we are doing this is to find the A1. Substitute and solve, you'll get A1. Just simply simplify this. 4 times 6 is 24. 19 over here, take 24 to the other side. It becomes minus 24 plus 19 equals negative 5. That's the first term. Now you have A1 and D. All you need to do is put the same formula again, AN formula, that is A1 plus n minus 1D, and solve it up. This, all you need to do is simplify distributive property. 6 times n minus 6, and now simplify minus 6 and minus 5. The answer is minus 11, 6, and this is the correct answer. So this is the nth term. Okay, nth formula for the nth term. Similarly, please do solve these by yourselves. Wherever there is sequences, you need to find the d value, the common difference, and then use the first term. If the d value is not, the sequence is not given, first use the formula, find a1, and again use the formula and find the nth term. Please do it by yourself, and then after you practice, solve it, and then check the answers. All the answers are shown over here, one by one. These are the answers. The eighth topic is similar to the previous topic. Only thing is, here we are dealing with geometric sequence. In geometric sequence, we have R, that is the common ratio. Here, we need to remember this formula by heart. You need to memorize this. It is very simple. The nth term of a geometric sequence is given by the first term multiplied by R, which is the common ratio, times to the power n minus 1. So if you want to find the seventh term, you need to know the first term a1, and then the r times 7 minus 1 to the power 6. So basically you're coming to this, right? So the first term multiplied common ratios to the power 6 times will give you the seventh term. That's it. We will look into problems now. You need to find the nth term. This an means nth term for each geometric sequence. The a1 is 5, r is 5, and n is 8. How do we do this? Very simple. Just remember the formula. Once you know the formula, just keep applying the values you know, because you have to just find the nth term. So all you need to do is substitute the nth term. But over here they have mentioned n is 8, so we need to find a8, a to the power a subscript 8. Whenever we have a term below, it's called subscript. Whenever it's power, it's called superscript. Subscript and superscript. Now a8 in simple we can call is equal to 5, that is a1, and r is also same 5, the whole power 8 minus 1, that is 7. All you need to do is substitute this. 5 to the power 7 is 78,125. Multiplied with 5, you will get 390,625. It is very basic, very simple. All you need to do is substitute, put it in the calculator, solve. That is it. Now, similarly, please do try this by yourselves. Please do try it by yourself and then check for the answer. Don't worry, R can be negative, a fraction, or a proper whole number, or a natural number. It depends in different cases. So do solve it. At the end, you will get the answer. It can be the 75 by 128, or you can press SD in your calculator and get this number. Similarly, these are the answers. Moving on to the ninth topic, we need to write repeating decimals as fractions. Now, decimals is something that is like 0.523. This is a decimal point, and you have digits after decimal. Now, sometimes they might be recurring. It's not like pi. Pi is infinite, but you will have pi as 3.1415, and the numbers keeps on changing. But sometimes you can see there are, say, 1 divided by 3, or 33%, 33 divided by 100. What happens over here? The values will be 0.333. It just keeps on going, right? That 0.33, it's recurring, isn't it? But you can write it as a fraction as 33 by 100. Don't you agree? So this is the thing. Now what do we do is all we can what we can do over here is 33% means 0.333. It keeps on going. We can do this recurring. But now I know this is basically we can write it as a fraction. 33 by 100. So how can we even relate this one now? Here it is not just 33, it's 33 by 100. Okay, it's very simple because it's 3333. Now, but over here it is 0.63 and again it'll be 6363 and so on. Now, how will we relate this and this? There is a method, there's a shortcut as well. There is many methods to solve. One of the old method which now we are using this, the first method, the new method, which is sum of an infinite series. Basically, you know this is 0.63, 0.0063. What this means is you are keep on adding 63, 63, 63, right? It just keeps on going. So this is basically starting with 0.63. Then you can add the remaining to 0.0063. And then you can add again plus 0.000063 and you can find the pattern. This is how it works. So now over here, which is the first term? First term is 0.63, which can be written whenever you have just two decimal points. What do? Remove this to the other side. 1, 2. How much is the decimal? Like basically what you do is when it's 0.63, multiply and divide by 100 because there are two decimals, two digits after decimal point. It'll be 63 by 100. That is very simple. Now over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can move this 4 to the right side. That means multiply by 10,000, divide by 10,000. So we have this, and it keeps on going. So what is the first term here? The first term is A1, that is 63 by 100, or you can write 0.63. My divided by 1 minus R. How do you find R? Second term divided by the first term. This divided by this. Just substitute over here. I will just tell you again. You need to divide this by this. You can use these itself. It's fine. So 0.0063 divided by 0.63. What is the answer? 1 by 100. So R is 1 by 100. Now I will write this. Now you know 1 by 100 is basically 0.01. Now you can use this in the sum formula. This is the sum formula for geometric series. Okay. So what do? A1, the first term, 0.63 divided by 1 minus 0.01. The answer is 7 by 11. So the answer over here will be 7 by 11. I'm assuming that you know this formula. This is the sum series for infinite series of geometric series, basically. You must be thorough with this. So that's the thing. Now, what if you forgot this formula? There is a simpler method which is used in the previous grades. If you recall, maybe in cycle 2 in math, you have done this. This is the method which we have used before. Now, this is the method. Basically, this expands forever, right? 0.6, it just keeps on going, right? So let us assume this to be x value. Okay. Now, multiply 100 on both the sides. What's going to happen? It's going to be 100x, and over here you will have to move the decimal 2 times to the right, or just use the calculator. Don't use the calculator, it's so simple. It'll be 63.6363 and it keeps on going. Now what you do is subtract x on both the sides over here. In this, just subtract x on both the sides. It'll be 100 minus x, that's 99x, and we know x is 0.6363, so all these decimals can be subtracted or removed because I'm subtracting 0.6363 and so on. So this side goes off. So you're remaining with 63 over here. What is x value? X is 63 divided by 99, right? Just take it to the other side. That is 7 divided by 11. So this is another method. So this is how it works. And what you can do is there's another trial and error method where you can just, whichever is the two digits, just divide that by 99. I'll show you some examples. Say for example, this is the same thing. Say for example, 0.35. Now this line denotes that these particular digits are being repeated. This line over here up above tells that that's being repeated all the time. So what you do is for 0.353535, all you do is take that term, don't take that term, take what is remaining over here. What basically is remaining, it's take two digits, whichever is right, 35, and just divide it by 99, 1 less than 100. So that is the answer, basically. That's it. So 39 by 100 over here. Now what about over here? There is three digits, right? So all you need to do is take those three digits, which will be repeating 642, divided by not 99, it should be 999. Why? Because there are three digits. So this is the answer. This is the simplified answer. You will have 642 divided by 999. Whenever you write fractions, you must write it in the simplest form. So that is the answer. So depending on the question, you can easily find it. Now, even the given question, now you can pause the video and try it by the direct calculator method, which I just now told you. So it would be basically here 63, and since there are only two digits that's repeating continuously, 99, 7 by 11. So that's the thing. But please be, some problems, if it's a single digit and this method will not work, so please remember to solve this. But generally, whenever they are repeating, how much terms are repeating, remember that, and that many divided by 999. So this is how we can easily solve it up. The 10th topic is the last topic in the part 1 of the exam scheme. It is to recognize recursive functions. They have told us to find 3 iterates of each function for the given initial value. Now, one thing they have mentioned, it's recursive. Recursive requires the previous term to go ahead. Now, iterates, first 3 iterates of each function. Basically, you're finding a function of its function. Over here, when it's given as a function, the initial value is given, so it will be first function will be f of x0. All you need to do is put this 8 over here. That is the first iterate. Now for the second iterate, you need to do the same thing again, function of f of x naught, function of function. But generally we consider this as x1 to make much easier sense. It's function of x1, that is x2. Now the third iterate would mean another function of this entire thing. It'll be too long, so or else we can write it as function of x2, x1, function of x1, function of x1, or the easiest way is, sorry, my voice is a bit cranky, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Function of x2, this is what would be the third iteration. Anyways, if this is confusing, don't worry, we will solve it, and now you will easily understand what is happening over here. You have the function and the initial value, right? All you need to do is substitute the given initial value in this equation and solve. That would mean x1 is function of x0. Wherever x is, they just substitute the value 8 and solve it in the calculator. You will get the answer. It's very basic, so you can directly solve it. Now, what do you do next? You need to substitute this value in this function instead of x. So it'll be 5 times 42 plus 2. So it'll be 212. And then they have told 3 iterates. So do again for the x3, or just keep on doing it. Compose the function with itself. Now over here 212 goes in the place of x and solve it. You'll have 1062. That's the answers. So that's how you easily solve it. Now the 3 iterates, you should select these. These are the answers: 42, 212, and 1062. Similarly, same method, same way just now we did. Please solve these. Solve these by yourselves and then check the answers over here. So that's the thing. That's the end of the part 1. Okay, there are a few more. I forgot about these. Same way, there is no difference. Don't worry if it is negative half or something. It's very simple. I'll just do this for a couple of iterates. So what you do is basically instead of x over here, you put this initial value, so it'll be 2 times x square. You can take it as negative half or 0.5. That's the same thing, because 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.5. It's up to you. Now square this, so use the brackets. Okay, you can put the multiplication sign over here, brackets plus that is, open the bracket because it's negative. I'll write 0.5 this time. It's the same thing, plus 1. The answer is 1 over here. Now, how do you get the next one? All you can do is remove this half. This is a shortcut instead of doing it multiple number of times because it's a huge one, right? Just put the answer, and over here again put the answer and press equal to, you'll get 4. Now again when you press equal to, you will get 37, and the next iterates would be these. It just keeps on. But now the problem is, if you miss one, then you won't get it. So if at all you missed one, you did one and you by mistakenly press something else, then the answer won't be saved. The answer will be the last answer which you saved. If you have missed anything, or if you're getting confused with the answer, or if you're not getting it, don't worry, just type it in. Type the answer value 1 and then over here as 1 and then press equal to, you'll get the answer. Then change it to 4 and you will get the answer. Just 3 iterates. That's very simple to solve. Please solve it by yourself and then do check the answer. This is the end of the part 1. The next set we will do 11 to 20, 11 to 20, that's the part 2, and then the last 3 will be the writing. It'll be done soon. Please do stay tuned, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you one and all.